And he had said many people are in an adjacent career. And I'd never heard that before, an adjacent career. What exactly does that mean? And are you in an adjacent career? It's very possible you are. Here's what this story is about. And I'm trying to find who had shared this. I have a feeling it might have been Jordan Peterson. And the concept is many people are in a profession that's adjacent. It's just right next to what exactly it is that they get excited about, that they're obsessed, they're passionate about, that they should really be doing. Meaning that what their current role is today is so close to whatever this other role is, they don't realize that they're not doing what they really wanted to do or what maybe they would be more successful at. So let me give you some examples of this. And when I heard this really, really resonated with me. I would say now it's been slightly over 20 years getting started in the whole digital marketing, online marketing space. And the first role I had was in Google Ads. And loved it. Worked with an amazing team, great leader, and was able to learn all of that. Worked with the Google account reps. And it was managing bids and ads on Google. And then after 9 years, always had an interest in all the different marketing channels, SEO being probably the most, I don't know if you know, say mysterious or kind of a black box how it actually worked. Opportunity came up and transitioned into SEO. And that's completely different. Well, not completely different, a lot of overlap in that with intent and keywords and content and those kind of things. But more reliant on developers and a team to be able to implement the work, where on the ad side, we can do all of it. Determine the keywords, write the ads, what the destination page is, all those things. So similar, I guess you could say those are adjacent careers. Maybe somebody's in Google Ads and they really should be pursuing SEO. Maybe that's more of a fit for their interests and personalities. So you could see how they're so close and similar. One may be in one marketing channel, focus on that, not knowing they'd be much happier in the other, or vice versa, those kind of things. And like in those two cases, the big difference is being self-serve, doing all the work yourself in Google Ads, versus reliant on experts and developers and all these to implement best practices and things like that. Make changes, basically what it comes down to. And when I had heard this, it made me think of those two marketing channels that I'd worked in. It also helped me reflect back on when I initially got started in the online marketing space and what drew me to it. And what drew me to it, I really like that solopreneurship piece of it. We didn't really call it way back then, but I remember creating an ebook, and it was on college tips, and I had 60 personal stories of all the lessons I wish I would have learned before graduating college. One of those things that hindsight's 2020, and I wanted to share some of that vision. At the time, there was a software, I think it was called eBook Pro. It would allow you to build your whole ebook in this software, and it made it more of an interactive type of experience. But I enjoyed writing the content, learning the software, configuring the software to work with a PayPal as the payment gateway, setting up the email. What would be the thank you email? The email would work in conjunction with the software. That software would pull a username and ID off of an Excel sheet, and as the orders came in, it would work down the list. It was really the coolest thing. Setting up autoresponders. When I set up the payment piece, it had to look for the specific subject line and then some data in the body to make sure, okay, this person did complete the transaction, now send them access. But it was a lot more complex back then than it is now, with various checkout software, landing page software, content hosting platforms, some of those all bundled together. I'm sure you're familiar with, the ClickFunnels, in all the different platforms, Samcart, Kajabi, all of the various Teachables and all these different things. But I enjoyed all the pieces of it and the creation and being creative in all those different things. So while I was in the digital marketing space, I feel like it was adjacent to being that creator of all the different pieces. But it was something that, even though I enjoy SEO, enjoyed paid search, all these different pieces, typically when you work in a corporation, unless you're in a leadership role, you're focused on one channel, and you have to be, because the scale of the work is so massive. There's no way you could be playing in these different sandboxes, I guess. But adjacent career, and I think it was Jordan Peterson. If you know who talked about that, and it was probably in a YouTube video with Jordan Peterson, please drop a comment in there and a link to the video, because I thought it was such a brilliant thing that I'd never thought of, never heard. But I think that could be very common. Maybe people are in roles that they're not as happy and as excited as they could be. Not one of these things where they felt like they've never worked a day in their life, but it's so close to what they want to be doing, and they just don't even know, because it just is. It's so close to what that true passion it is, that they just don't even realize it. So think about that, adjacent careers. And are you in an adjacent career? Are you currently doing something that isn't 100% spot on, that matches with your passion, interests, skill sets, and those kind of things? So keep that in mind. Think about that. Remember that, adjacent careers. If you've seen that video or any content around that, please drop it in the comments. I'd like to check that out. I've been doing various searches on there and haven't found the one, but I would know it when I saw it. But I think it might have been Jordan Peterson. Have an amazing day. Thanks again for being here. We'll talk soon.